The hidden power of strategic absence. Some people walk into a room and the entire atmosphere changes. Eyes shift toward them. Conversations slow. Without saying a word, they hold the space. What makes them different? Is it their appearance, their status, their charm? Number. It's something far more powerful and far more rare. The most charismatic people don't seek attention. They don't demand recognition. Instead, they understand a fundamental truth. Scarcity creates value. When you are always available, you become ordinary. But when you control your presence, you become unforgettable. Today, I'll show you the strategy behind effortless magnetism, how to walk into any room and command attention without saying a word, and how to disappear in a way that makes people crave your return. The power of strategic presence. The most magnetic people in history understood one thing. True charisma isn't about being everywhere. It's about being missed. Napoleon Bonaparte, Steve Jobs, Marcus Aurelius, these men didn't chase attention. They mastered the art of presence by knowing when to appear and, more importantly, when to disappear. Napoleon wasn't just a military genius, he was a master of perception. He knew that his absence could create anticipation, making his presence even more impactful when he returned. Steve Jobs followed the same principle. He didn't constantly engage with the public or flood the media with his opinions. Instead, he carefully controlled his appearances, making every product launch feel like an event. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, believed that speaking too often diluted one's influence. He chose his words carefully, ensuring that when he did speak, people truly listened. Why does this work? Because scarcity creates value. When something is always available, people take it for granted. But when it's rare, it becomes desirable. The same applies to you. If you want to be truly charismatic, it's not about being louder or more present. It's about making people want more of you. By the end of this video, you won't need to chase attention. It will find you. Because those who understand these 5 strategies don't beg for influence, they command it. Strategy 1. Disappear at the right time to become unforgettable. The most charismatic and influential people throughout history understood one powerful truth. Your presence is valuable, but only when used strategically. If you are always around, always available, and always engaging, people start to take you for granted. You become predictable. And in the world of power and influence, predictability is the quickest way to become invisible. But if you know how to disappear at the right moment, you create anticipation. You make people wonder about you. You force them to appreciate your presence more when you return. This is the psychology behind scarcity, and few mastered it better than Napoleon Bonaparte. The Napoleon strategy. Absence creates power. Napoleon wasn't just a military genius, he was a master of perception. When he was exiled to Elba, most rulers would have faded into irrelevance. But Napoleon understood something critical. His absence could work in his favor. He didn't disappear completely. Instead, he allowed rumors to spread, nostalgia to build, and dissatisfaction with the new regime to grow. His enemies thought they had won, but in reality, they were helping him become more powerful. By the time Napoleon returned, the people of France saw him as a legend rather than a fallen leader. His absence had amplified his value. And when he finally reappeared, he didn't have to reclaim his empire. It was handed to him. Why this works? The psychology of absence. Humans are wired to want what they can't have. Familiarity breeds indifference. Scarcity breeds desire. If something is always within reach, people stop caring. But when it's removed, even for a moment, it becomes irresistible. Think about luxury brands. The reason Rolex, Ferrari and Hermes remain exclusive is that they limit access. Not everyone can get them, which makes people want them even more. The same rule applies to people. The friend who is always available is taken for granted. The boss who constantly emails loses authority. The person who always posts on social media becomes just another notification. But the one who steps back at the right moment, the one who doesn't immediately respond, the one who disappears, making people notice their absence. That's the person people remember. How to apply this to your life? If you want to command attention effortlessly, you must learn to disappear strategically. 1. Stop making yourself too accessible. If you always reply instantly, people expect it and stop valuing your time. If you say yes to every request, you become ordinary. Instead, be selective. Delay responses. Choose where you invest your presence. 2. Create controlled moments of absence. This doesn't mean cutting off people completely. It means stepping back at key moments to make people feel your absence. Take breaks from social media. Walk away from a conversation at the peak of interest. Make people wonder where you are rather than knowing your every move. 3. Return with impact. Napoleon didn't just come back. He came back stronger and more influential. When you reappear, do so with something valuable, a new skill, a fresh perspective, a transformation that makes people take notice. Disappearance alone is not enough. It must be strategic, because when you control your presence, you control how people see you. But absence is just the first step. To truly become irresistible, you need to master the art of scarcity. In the next section, we'll break down how to use scarcity to increase your perceived value and make people crave your attention. Strategy 2. Use absence to increase respect. The power of scarcity. Respect is not earned through constant presence. It is earned through strategic absence. Robert Greene, in the 48 Laws of Power, explains this principle in Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. The logic is simple. When you're always around, people stop valuing you, but when you control your presence, you become more desirable. Many people believe that being constantly available will make them more respected. They try to be at every event, respond to every message immediately, and always be in the spotlight. But instead of gaining respect, they lose value. Think about how human psychology works. People crave what they cannot have. The harder something is to get, the more people want it. This is why luxury brands limit supply. Why scarcity creates value. The world's most powerful brands don't operate on mass production. They operate on exclusivity. Rolex doesn't flood the market with watches. They release limited collections, making them rare and desirable. Ferrari carefully controls how many cars they sell, making ownership feel exclusive. Hermes doesn't let just anyone buy a Birkin bag. You have to be on a waiting list, proving you are worthy before you can own one. Because these products are scarce, people want them even more. Scarcity creates demand. Now apply this to yourself. If you answer every text instantly, people assume they can reach you anytime. If you say yes to every request, people expect you to be at their convenience. But the moment you create space, people start chasing you. But when you make your time, energy, and presence scarce, you become more valuable. How to apply this to your life? 1. Reduce your availability. Stop replying to every message instantly. Don't always say yes to invitations. Let people notice when you are not there instead of always making yourself accessible. Be selective about where and when you engage. If you speak too often, people stop listening. If you post too much online, people ignore you. Instead, be intentional. Make people anticipate your presence. 3. Create a sense of scarcity. Step away from social media occasionally. Leave conversations while people still want more. Let people wonder what you're doing instead of giving them constant updates. 4. Make your return impactful. Just like Rolex only releases limited collections, your presence should feel exclusive. When you reappear, bring value. A new skill, a fresh perspective, an accomplishment that makes people notice. This isn't about hiding, it's about controlling access to yourself. Because when something is rare, people chase after it. This is why the most powerful and respected people are not the ones who constantly demand attention. They are the ones who make people wait, wonder, and crave their presence. But absence alone is not enough. To truly elevate your value, you must learn to create demand. Next, we'll explore how to generate desire through scarcity, turning yourself into someone people actively seek. Strategy 3. Create demand through scarcity. The power of being exclusive. People always want what they can't easily have. Scarcity fuels obsession. The harder you are to reach, the more people want access. The less you give, the more they crave. That's why the world's most powerful figures never overexpose themselves. This is why luxury brands don't mass-produce their products. Why high-status circles don't accept just anyone. Why the most charismatic individuals are often the ones who aren't always available. Scarcity is a psychological trigger. When something is rare, people desire it more. And this principle applies not just to objects, but to human relationships and social dynamics. The more accessible you are, the less valuable you become. The more unpredictable you are, the more people crave your presence. This is the strategy that Hollywood's biggest stars and the world's most influential people use to stay relevant, without constantly chasing attention. Why scarcity creates demand. One of the best examples of this is Leonardo DiCaprio. Unlike many celebrities who constantly post on social media and share every detail of their lives, DiCaprio remains a mystery. He rarely gives interviews. He doesn't engage in online drama. He doesn't flood Instagram with daily updates. Because of this, people are fascinated by him. His absence creates curiosity. His limited access makes every appearance feel special. Compare this to influencers who post non-stop, document every part of their day, and constantly seek validation. They may get attention, but their presence doesn't feel valuable. When you can see everything about a person at any time, they lose their allure. There's no mystery, no exclusivity, no anticipation. But when someone limits access to themselves, when they become scarce, people naturally become more drawn to them. How to apply this to your life? If you want to increase your social value, you need to create scarcity. You need to make people work for your presence. Here's how. 1. Reduce your presence online. Stop oversharing. You don't need to post everything about your life. The less people know, the more they'll want to know. 2. Be unpredictable. If people always know where you are, what you're doing, and how you feel, you become too familiar. Familiarity kills intrigue. Keep people guessing. Show up on your terms, not when they expect you to. 3. Control the flow of information about yourself. Only reveal what you want people to see. Drop hints instead of full explanations. Let people wonder about you. Make them ask questions rather than giving them all the answers. Make people earn access to you. High-value people don't make themselves easily available. If you are always accessible, people take you for granted. Be selective with your time and energy. 5 steps away when necessary. Take social media breaks. Leave conversations while people still want more. Disappear for a while and come back with something valuable. When you create scarcity, you create demand. And when people have to work for your attention, they respect and value it more. This is how powerful, charismatic individuals command attention without ever chasing it. But scarcity alone isn't enough. To truly captivate people, you need to master the power of mystery. Next, we'll explore how keeping people guessing makes you even more magnetic without saying a single word. Strategy 4. Mystery creates attraction. Leave people wanting more. Charismatic people don't just attract attention. They make people crave their presence, and they do it by mastering the art of mystery. When you reveal too much, you become predictable. When you leave just enough unanswered, people can't stop thinking about you. This is why some of history's most captivating figures, like Marilyn Monroe, knew how to hold the world's attention, not by giving everything away, but by keeping people guessing. The Marilyn Monroe effect, the power of leaving people wanting more. Marilyn Monroe was more than just a Hollywood star. She was an obsession. People couldn't get enough of her. But it wasn't just because of her looks or charm. It was because she knew how to create intrigue. Unlike many celebrities who exposed every detail of their lives, Monroe was deliberate with what she revealed. She never answered every question directly. She gave the media just enough, then pulled back, leaving room for speculation. And that mystery made her unforgettable. The human mind is addicted to mystery. The moment people think they know everything about you, they lose interest. But if they sense there's more beneath the surface, if you leave gaps, unanswered questions, they'll keep coming back for more. Why mystery works? The psychology of intrigue. Humans are wired to seek closure. When we hear part of a story, we want to know the rest. When something is left unfinished, we obsess over it. But if something is too available, too explained, too predictable, we lose interest. This is why oversharing kills attraction. When you reveal too much, there's nothing left to discover. On the other hand, when you keep some things unknown, people naturally become more curious about you. They start asking questions. They start paying closer attention. And that's how you become magnetic. How to apply this to your life? One end, conversations, while people still want more. Most people talk too much and overstay their welcome. Instead, leave while the energy is still high, so that people look forward to your return. Be selective about what you reveal. Don't always share your plans, emotions, or personal details right away. Drop hints, not full explanations. Let people wonder about you. 3. Use silence as a tool. When you speak less, people listen more. Don't fill every moment with words. Let silence build intrigue. 4. Let people discover things about you on their own. Instead of bragging, let others uncover your achievements over time. This makes them appreciate you more. 5. Be unpredictable. If people always know what you're thinking, doing, or feeling, they stop paying attention. Keep them guessing. The secret to lasting attraction. Charisma is not about revealing everything. It's about revealing just enough. Because once people think they know everything about you, they stop being curious. But if you leave them wanting more, they will never stop chasing you. Now that you know how to create mystery, it's time for the final step. Next, we'll explore how to make people actively pursue your presence without you ever needing to ask for their attention. Strategy 5. The power of control. Make others chase you. The most powerful people don't chase attention. They control it. They don't seek approval. They make others seek them. This is the final and most important principle of true charisma. The ability to make people pursue you without you ever needing to ask for their attention. One of the greatest examples of this was Steve Jobs. The Steve Jobs strategy, the art of controlled presence. Steve Jobs didn't waste his presence. He didn't flood interviews, post daily opinions, or seek approval. Instead, he built anticipation. Every time he appeared, the world stopped to listen. He didn't post daily updates about his thoughts or his life. Instead, he made himself scarce. He chose his moments carefully. And when he did appear, people paid attention. Think about Apple's product launches. When Steve Jobs walked on stage, it wasn't just another announcement, it was an event. Why? Because his presence was controlled, calculated, and rare. By limiting access to himself, he made every moment of access feel valuable. Why this works? The psychology of control. Humans are wired to value what they can't easily have. The harder something is to access, the more desirable it becomes. This is why exclusive clubs have waiting lists, why VIP sections exist, why some of the most attractive people are the ones who don't always say yes. The more you make yourself too easy to reach, too eager to engage, too desperate for validation, the more people will take you for granted. But when you control access to yourself, you control how people perceive you. You create the illusion of importance, value, and exclusivity. People don't respect what is always available. They respect what they have to work for. How to apply this to your life? 1. Stop chasing people. Whether in business, social life, or relationships, the more you chase, the less you are valued. The most charismatic people don't run after others. They make people come to them. 2. Control your availability. Don't always answer messages immediately. Don't always say yes to invitations. Make people feel your absence so they appreciate your presence more. 3. Make your presence feel exclusive. If you're always around, you become ordinary. But if you show up at the right moments, you become extraordinary. Be the person who enters the room when it matters, not the one always seeking attention. 4. Let people pursue you. Don't reveal too much too soon. Keep an air of mystery and intrigue. The less you seek validation, the more valuable you become in the eyes of others. The key to true power. Powerful people don't beg for attention. They don't force interactions. Instead, they position themselves as something worth chasing. Because the moment you stop chasing, people start wondering why. And the moment you become scarce, people start craving your presence. This is how the most influential people in the world command respect, admiration, and attention, without ever asking for it. Now, let's bring everything together. In the final section, we'll summarize the 5 strategies you can use to become the most charismatic person in any room, and how to start applying them today. We've broken down the 5 powerful strategies that the most charismatic and influential people use to command attention and respect effortlessly. Now, let's recap what you've learned. 1. Disappear at the right time. If you're always available, people stop valuing you. But when you create moments of absence, you make your presence more meaningful. 2. Use scarcity to increase your value. The less accessible you are, the more desirable you become. Scarcity makes people respect and appreciate your presence. 3. Control your presence to create attraction. Charismatic people don't flood the room with their energy. They control when and how they engage, making every interaction impactful. 4. Master the art of mystery. When you reveal too much, you become predictable. But when you keep people curious and intrigued, they stay hooked. 5. Make others chase you. The moment you stop seeking approval and validation, you shift the power dynamic. Instead of chasing, you become the one people want to be around. Now, ask yourself, are you controlling your presence, or are you making yourself too predictable? Do people truly appreciate your presence, Or have you made yourself too easy to access? The answer determines the level of influence you hold. Now, you have a choice. You can stay the same, always available, always chasing, always overlooked. Or you can take control, strategically disappear, create scarcity, and become someone people crave. Powerful people don't wait for respect. They create it. Starting today, commit to these 5 strategies. Because charisma, influence, and respect are not given. They are built through action. The most powerful people don't wait for respect. They create it. And if you're serious about mastering influence, the next move is yours. Watch the next video now, because the people who hesitate are the ones who stay invisible. Because what comes next will change everything.